Here comes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Hello and welcome to this episode of War Eagle Weekly. How are we doing, Josh?
Is it Saturday yet?
Ooh, it is close. By the time people are watching this episode, we are only 3 days away from game day. We are going to be playing Ball State. If you were wanting to see our reaction show to the Baylor game, go ahead and click up there in the corner and go to that video because that came out yesterday. But today we are going to be talking about the Ball State, who Zach Blackerby likes to point out is not actually
Ball is in the state.
Ball is not a state. It is a state of mind, but it is not a state. That game is going to be played on the 6:30 p.m. So we're getting a night game, Jordan Hare, and that is going to be on ESPNU, which I'm a little, it's whatever. It's Ball State, so that's why it's getting, the crappy schedule. But Josh, I think both of us are still excited for this game, and we got a lot to talk about. Ball State is going to be an easy win. It really should be an easy win, but I think that the bigger question is going to be, we have questions about this Auburn team that really we need to talk about and that we're really going to be keeping an eye out for. The first of which is, are we going to see an emphasis on the passing game in the Ball State game? Because we definitely didn't get it in the first game.
I would definitely say this is going to be a confidence-building game for our offense as well as the defense. I fully expect Hugh Freeze to open the playbook a little bit more and have the receivers way more involved. I don't expect Ball State to do what Baylor did and play two high safeties the entire game. I feel like
No.
Ball State's going to have they're going to have their team ready to play both aspects of our team, because, I mean, you're not going to be able to silence the receivers all season long. Not saying they were silenced against Baylor, because they definitely weren't.
They were.
They were not silenced.
Yeah.
Maybe by Hugh Freeze, not by Baylor.
Correct, by the decision making of the coaching staff, but it was the defense they were playing caused the wide receivers to be a non-factor. Let's just be honest. Oh, sorry, non-factor is not the correct answer. A silencer, I think, is, because they were terrified of those receivers in that Baylor game. They were covering them anytime Eric Singleton went on motion. 4 or 5 players were reacting to that. He was the difference maker in that game. I agree. But they were silenced. Their stat lines aren't going to jump off at you. Cam Coleman had 3 targets, 1 reception, and 1 came off the tip of his fingers, which was a bad pass, but still, they were silenced in the Baylor game. Not because they played like crap, but because they were such a huge threat that Baylor was like, we're not going to let them beat us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't expect I don't expect Ball State to be able to stop our receivers. I mean, Ball State gave up 340 passing yards to Purdue. I mean, if Purdue can do what they did to Ball State, I fully expect Auburn to do worse. So I definitely think that we're going to be more involved in passing than rushing against Ball State.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. We may even see some backups, although I wouldn't be surprised if Jackson Arnold plays the entire game, just so that way he can get more, game film and get more comfortable passing the ball.
Yeah.
I think they are going to put a huge emphasis on the passing game. Cam Coleman getting the first target, Cam Coleman getting the second target, Cam Coleman probably getting the third target, if you ask me. I could be completely off on that, but I think that they are just going to go out there, and as long as we don't start dropping balls or not making the right passes, or Ball State's defense isn't playing us super tight, we should see the offense really air it out, and this is what everyone is going to want to see. The first touchdown catch of the year is going to be electric, and it should be at home against Ball State. So the next question I got is, are we going to see any improvement on the defense? Because I personally want to see better tackling for sure against a very lackluster team. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more pressure from the defense. I think we're going to see more blitzes from the defense. I feel like we blitzed maybe not enough against Baylor. I liked what we saw when we did blitz. We got back there, we put pressure on them, but again, Sawyer Robinson is just another breed. But against Ball State, I think we're definitely going to see an improvement on the defensive side of the ball. Like you said, it's a lackluster opponent.
Yeah. Well, okay, so my thing is we blitzed in the first two drives, and the first two drives, Baylor was able to get down into the red zone and got 3 points out of it. We held them on fourth down on the second trip down there. So I think that's why we went away from that, because Sawyer Robinson was not being affected by the blitz. He was making the right throws for the most part.
Yeah.
And so I think that speaks more for him than it does to what this defense is going to do. But we talked about it in yesterday's episode. Auburn was still getting pressure without blitzing. I mean, we
Yeah.
had quite a few QB hurries and we had 4 sacks in the game. And Baylor's offensive line is, although not great, should be better than Ball State. And so our defensive line should cook. And we might see a Keldrick Falk 3 sack game, hopefully. If I mean, my fingers are crossed here, hoping we get that.
We all want it. We all want to see it. I mean, he lined up in D tackle more than I was expecting him to against Baylor. I know he can do it. I just want to see him be the edge setter that we know he is.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing is I do need to see some improvement tackling in the secondary. I
Yes.
need to see linebackers handing off to the secondary better. I need to see safeties, please play better. Because if that's the level of play that we can expect for the rest of the year, we're in trouble because they looked atrocious. And it looks as if Champ Anthony is going to be out for an undisclosed amount of time. He's having surgery
Broken
on his
thumb.
thumb. And so he seems to be the tone setter on the defense. And you and I talked about this a little bit. We both love Champ Anthony and we love the
Yeah.
mentality that he brings, but I think he really is a captain on that defense. And the moment you start seeing him trying to lay people out, I think some of the other players kind of took note and was like, all right, let's lay him out. And that can be attributed to some of the missed tackles that we had, is it seemed like they were lowering their shoulder instead of wrapping up. And
Yeah.
so hopefully, although we love Champ Anthony and we are a worse team without Champ Anthony, I think we'll have the correct tone set in this game, especially since it is Ball State.
Yeah. I definitely think we will. I mean, those tackling mistakes can be corrected. Coaches can tell guys to use your
Yeah,
hands instead of your shoulder. It's just one of those things that it happened. Hopefully, it doesn't happen again.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. So Josh, who do you think is going to be your impact player on both sides of the ball? Let's go ahead and start on offense. What are you thinking?
I'm going to go with the easy answer and say Jackson Arnold. He's going to make or break the offense. And I think he's going to make it in Ball State. And on defense, I want to say a linebacker. I know Demarcus Riddick was one of my answers at the beginning before the season started. I was really encouraged what I saw from Robert Woodyard, but I'm gonna go on the defensive line, and I'm gonna say Keldrick Falk. He's the one that's gonna be forcing throws. He's gonna be the one pushing running backs back
Yeah.
inside and causing a loss of downs or no gain.
So you're taking both easy answers is essentially what
Yes,
you're telling
yes,
me. You're
yes.
you're, you're taking the easy out there. Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
stick with defense, and me personally, I think for me defensively, it's going to be one of the safeties. I'm gonna say Caleb Harris. Caleb Harris had an atrocious game.
So it's
Uh,
the challenge.
and so I think he's going to step up to the challenge because the dude was a baller since he's been here on campus and has been a phenomenal player for us on the back end. And hopefully that was kind of an eye-opening experience for him. Hopefully it was, just a lackluster day for him and he makes the right decisions in the Ball State game. And so I'm gonna think it's one of the safeties, but specifically Caleb Harris for me. On the other side of it, I'm probably, oh man, I'm going to go with Cam Coleman. I said it when we were talking about the passing game. I think he is going to be a huge emphasis in the passing game. Eric Singleton still looks like he might be a little banged up. Not terribly. He looked explosive in the Baylor game,
He took a
but
lick against Baylor, though.
he did take a lick. And so I don't think they're going to let him, they don't want him to get any more hurt than what he maybe is. And so I think for these next 2 games, he might have a lackluster performance and everybody be wondering, okay, hey, where is he at? And then maybe in the Oklahoma game, they unleash Eric Singleton. But I think for me, I think it's going to be Cam Coleman, and I think he's going to have a great game. I think Jackson Arnold is probably the correct answer if I'm being honest with you, but I can't have the same answer as you. So that's just, I'm going to leave it at that. But needless to say, we should be 2-0, and a cross state rival. The best they can do is 1-1, and so right there, we're in a better spot than they are.
I wouldn't be surprised if they lose to ULM. I
Oh
wouldn't.
my gosh, could you imagine? DeBoer would not even get off the field before they fired him. Oh
Nah,
my
they can't.
gosh,
They can't swallow $68 million. He's there for
Oh.
at least one more year. They can't swallow that.
You lose to ULM, they might find
Uh,
something, and then maybe they go to Nick Saban and ask him for a little bit of the money they gave him back.
we gonna make the school go broke to find another coach.
And on that note, Josh, War Eagle, baby.
War damn Eagle, man.
There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis is going running all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.